name alkynes using the IUPAC system. Unlike alkenes, which we covered in the last video, alkynes have a triple bond between the carbons. So I'll be going over a few simple examples in order to establish the steps in naming an alkyne, and then I'll move on to a few complicated examples in which we have both an alkene and an alkyne in the organic compound. So let's begin by drawing a simple compound. If you follow along with my cursor, you can see that this here is our longest parent chain. So let's go ahead and name that. 1, we're going to do a 2 where the carbon chain begins, and a 3 where the triple bond ends, and end off with a 4. So let's go ahead and put the whole name together. We have 4 parts, so we know our prefix is going to be bute, and the triple bond begins at the number 2. So our final name is going to be 2-bute, and we're going to add the ending "ine," as you may have guessed. So our final name is 2-butine. So let's move on to our next example. Okay, so I am going to draw another chain. If you follow along with my cursor, this is our parent chain. So let's go ahead and name this. We're going to start off with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there's a triple bond at the end of the parent chain, we want to start off there so that the triple bond has the lowest number possible. So let's go ahead and put the whole name together. So we have the number 1 because that's where the triple bond begins. We have the prefix pent because there are 5 components to this chain. And our ending is going to be "ine." 1-pentine. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our third example. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit harder, and I'm going to draw 2 triple bonds instead of 1. Let's add one in the middle here, and let's add one at the end. So again, we're going to start off at the end of the chain because there is a triple bond at the end of the chain. And let's number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's go ahead and put this name together. So we have the prefix hept as there are 7 components. Our first chain begins at the number 1. Our second triple bond begins at the number 5. And let's end off with di-ine, as there are 2 triple bonds, so we want to have the prefix di. So another way you could do this is by having the numbers in front of the name. So in that case, that would be 1, 5, hept, and then di-ine. So in this case, there isn't a really good flow when you say hepdiene, so you're supposed to add an A in between the prefix and the ending, so it becomes 1,5-heptadiene, and that just has a better ring to it. Okay, let's move on to our fourth example. So I'm going to make this a little bit harder, and I'm going to add an alkene and an alkyne to the chain. So let's go ahead and draw our chain. We're going to have a triple bond here, and we're going to start off with a double bond. So again, if you follow along with my cursor, this here is our parent chain. So let's go ahead and number this. Again, we're going to start off at the end because we have a double or a triple bond at the end. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 where the triple bond begins, 6 where the triple bond ends, and we're going to end off with a 7. When putting this name together, we're going to have the prefix hex, -1, -ene. Don't forget to use -ene when there is a double bond, as alkenes have the ending -ene. And then we're going to have a 5-ine. And also, as you may recall from our past videos, we want to put this in alphabetical order, so "ene" is always going to go in front of "ine." Okay, let's move on to our final example. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my chain. Sorry, this one is a bit shaky, but it's okay. We're going to have a triple bond over here, and this right here is going to be our double bond. If you follow along with my cursor, this here can be our parent chain, or this here can be our parent chain, and it doesn't really matter because there's only one substituent, so it isn't going to change the length of the chain. So let's go ahead and number this. So we're going to start from this end of the chain because the triple bond is closer to this end, and we want the bonds to have the lowest number possible. So we're going to have a 1, 2, 3 where the triple bond begins, 4 where it ends, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's go ahead and put this name together. So we're going to start off with our substituent. So this right here is our substituent, and it's a methyl group. So that's at the number 2. So we're going to have 2 methyl, and now let's add our prefix of the compound. That's going to be oct, as there are 8 components. We're going to have a 5-ene, as that's where a double bond is, and we want to remember alphabetical order. And we're going to end off with a dash 3-ine. So the completed name for this compound is 2-methyl-oct 5-ene 3-ine. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found this video useful and entertaining. See you next time. Bye!